And now it's time for Chic Shit Only. Hi, everybody. It's me, Lauren Zima, here with the incomparable, undeniable, absolutely non-pliable Denny Directo.
Non-pliable. That's a new one. I'll take it.
Listen. I'll say you're flexible when you need to be.
Let them know. Let them know. By the way, he's also single. Let them all know.
Are you? Wow. Breaking news right off the bat with Denny D.
Oh, you don't know this? Guys, I haven't seen Lauren in a very, Lauren, I haven't even seen you since you got engaged. Congratulations, babe.
Thanks.
We've got a lot to catch up on. Now that's chic. My life's shit, but congrats.
Oh my God, your life's not shit. Look how good you look. If you're watching this on the video, everyone, here is Denny Directo coming to me from the Entertainment Tonight digital offices. He is host on ET Live. He is my coworker of several years. He is one of the most talented, positive, creative, reliable, incredible people I've ever met. And when I said non-pliable, I meant like you strong.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I am. Speaking of strong, doesn't it look like I'm about to host a therapy session in here?
I love it. Thank you for providing the succulents, for dressing the set, a beautiful nondescript, but calming watercolored behind you on the wall.
Anything for chic shit only.
Well, everyone, I had to have Denny D come on today because, again, I love Denny Directo. And when I was starting this podcast, one of my huge goals was just to have people who you love on, who are your dear friends, and also who have something fun to say. And there's been so much celebrity news this week, like big news. I just thought we got to have that Denny Directo on to have fun and discuss it all.
We got to spill the tea.
Well, first I want to talk about what does make you incredibly chic, though, Denny, which is you've been at ET longer than me. It was your dream job.
Can you believe? Thank God it worked out. I don't know what else I'd be doing. Like I did not have a plan B. And I literally was like, oh, let me just get a little foot in the door like they say. And that's exactly what happened. I hate to say that. It's cliche, but I saw a door and I walked through it.
You saw a door and you walked through it. You started at ET right out of college as someone's assistant, and you have worked your way up to being on-air talent.
To my dream job. I started as a production assistant, then somebody's executive assistant, then the little producer. And then I was doing interviews and I was on camera and blah, blah, blah. 11 years later, here I am with all my hair.
And it's not even graying. Mine is.
Mine is turning gray. You just can't tell. It's in here.
Wow, it looks amazing. I mean, I'm doing my roots every 2 weeks at this point.
By the way, other breaking news, I got Botox recently for the first time.
Oh, really?
Is that chic or not?
Excellent question. We do chic or shit on this podcast, and I need you to tell me because I've never had Botox. Chic or shit?
Honestly, you tell me. Look, I'm moving my face. And
well, what made you get it? Because we're at that age where we're going to start questioning. Is it time yet or not?
Correct. I am very expressive, which by the way, when I went in for my appointment, I'm like, I still would like to move my face though. I'm not trying to be a robot.
Excellent thing to say.
That's the first thing I said. Also, don't get too close to my eyebrows. These are gold. And then, I don't know, for me.
Know your strengths.
I'm so expressive. There were so many wrinkles here. And I just kind of, what I told them actually for real? I told the nurse this. I said, I would just like to be the walking Paris filter on the Instagram story. Just soften it up a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah, I really said that.
You really communicated well what you needed.
I wasn't trying to walk out with like, good morning, Mohammed from freaking First Wives Club. Like I just wanted a couple of units. That's it.
Me and I quote First Wives Club way too much. What do we say? We always say the line where they're falling in the window cleaning thing and the people inside go,
Elise, you look great.
Well, Denny, you look great.
By the way, am I not Samantha Jones? You got engaged and meanwhile I'm like, Botox, honey. That always works out.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up because I have been thinking, is it time yet or not? But I am a little bit afraid, like you see the rare occasion, and there's no science that I'm saying here. It's just, I've heard horror stories about an occasional like Bell's palsy moment that I'm afraid of, like a frozen face, like a drooping eye. Did you see that influencer when her eyes were, one was drooping open and one was shut?
Oh, no, I did not. No, thank God I didn't, or else I don't know if I would have gone through with my procedure.
I mean, again, I'm sure that's rare-ish at least, but I will say, I don't buy the preventative Botox thing. This is just my take on it. Hot take, steaming or not, it might be seen as a shit take, but I think that the preventative Botox thing seems to have been invented so that people would get more Botox. Like it is a business, guys.
It is, and they will try to upsell you. They might tell you, you might want this. Oh, let me see your crow's feet. Let me, you got to like go in a little prepared.
I
Maybe
just get a little scared when people are getting it. Like if you have a crazy 11 line or headaches or whatever, do what you need to do. But I do get worried when I see some people on social media being like, I'm 22 and my wrinkles are driving me nuts. And I'm getting Botox.
Yeah.
Even at 33, commitment.
Even at 33, I thought, is this too young? I wasn't sure, but I'm so happy with the results. At the end of the day, it depends on how you feel. Like I'm so happy with it. I'm like, I'm literally telling everyone on your podcast right now.
Well, I thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. How do we get here? The entertainment news headlines, Denny Directo gets Botox.
I love it. Absolutely. Why wouldn't that be a headline? Yeah. We're going to talk about the Kardashians. And by the way, if they got Botox, it would be a headline. Well, I'm so glad maybe now you've inspired me. I might go and do it.
Yeah, I'm happy with the results. I really am. And it was around my birthday, so it was a little birthday gift too. So no regrets.
So Denny, going back to your career here at ET, you have only ever worked at ET. It was your dream job as a child. You watched Entertainment Tonight.
That's scary though.
No, I mean, part of the reason I want to talk to you about it is because I do think we're in this era, right? Where people see other people's careers so much on social media. And of course, we all, even if we are confident in ourselves, you start to have envy and think, oh, I want to do that. Or should I do that? And should I have my own business and all these things? What you don't hear people talking about a lot, though, is I started here at this company and I worked my way up. Like what we hear a lot about now is I hated my job and I quit and I started making my own. Yeah. So you're sort of that more traditional story. And looking back, what lessons have you gained from start at the bottom, now you're here, and really like working your way up through something? Because at the end of the day, the result is you have your dream job. Exactly. And you had it, I think before 30, you were on air already.
That's true. That is true. I genuinely think, first of all, what I will preface with, which is not one of the three things I learned, is that I am the first to recognize how much luck there was involved. Like I was just there at the right place at the right time. We were ET, which is a long-standing legacy entertainment news brand, was building its digital footprint, and I was there at the beginning of that. So that helped. But the three things I learned over the years for sure is like, always say yes. Say yes to every opportunity. There is no job that is too small. When I first started here, when I was a little PA, I was responsible for going to pick up a continental breakfast over at the local Vons and bringing it over for all of the producers, all of those bagels and cereals that you're probably eating in the room over there at ET. I once was buying those for everybody. Okay. So And
we did. In COVID, I will tell you, in COVID, we don't have anymore, but we used to have boxes of cereal and bagels.
Guess what? There's someone going to get that for you, Lauren. That was me at once. But that, it put me in front of all of the producers and they know who I was and my name. And then, yeah, just saying yes to everything. Also having a great attitude, that work ethic. Like at the end of the day, I think it really does come down to whether or not people want to work with you, period. Like if you are a happy-go-lucky guy, if you're positive, if you're eager and willing to learn, and again, say yes to everything, who wouldn't want to keep you around and also give you more opportunities? You know what I mean?
Oh, you and I are so on the same page about so much of that. And by the way, we're doing okay. And
we're doing okay. We're doing okay. We're doing okay. There was a third thing that I can't remember.
No, you said say yes.
Say yes.
Stay positive.
Yeah. Have a good work ethic.
And you took advantage of the right place, right time.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Not everyone does. Yeah. I keep thinking maybe it'll come back to you. But I always say, who do you want to be in the trenches with?
Yes, exactly.
Like you can't teach everything, but I would rather have somebody. I mean, I managed people in the past. I don't now, but I've managed teams before. And I would always say, I would rather have someone who doesn't have as many skills, but is eager to learn, is positive, has that drive, than someone who might have the skills, but you can't get them to do anything, or they're not into it, or they're not in a good mood. Who do you want to be working with, at the end of a 12-hour day? I always think of this quote from Lorne Michaels, and it's not going to be on point, but he obviously the guy behind SNL. And they asked him about like some of the hires he'd not made over the years. Like, famously, Jim Carrey didn't get an SNL, even though he auditioned, or Steve Carell, or all these people. And Lorne Michaels said, sometimes it's not about skill. It's about who you want to run into at the printer at 3 a.m.
Exactly.
It's an excellent point.
And in our business, what we do, think about all the nights and weekends, the
Yeah.
travel, like you want that. I remember the third thing, by the way.
Tell
The
me.
third thing is to be vocal about your goals. I was always vocal about what I wanted to do. I want to produce, I want to host. I want to be a
You
correspondent.
were telling everybody, here's why I'm here.
Yeah. And especially my bosses, they want to know. And so I thankfully was working with and for people that help foster that. Even if it wasn't like right away, they would at least throw some opportunities my way. I got to go on shoots. I got to go on red carpets and do interviews, before I was on camera, because they knew that's what I wanted to do. So speak up.
Denny, that's huge.
Yeah.
I've never thought about it or articulated it that well. See, you're so vocal.
I'm so vocal. Listen, is this thing on?
But you're right. That's such a good point, because even if you might be in that space physically, you have to say, this is why I'm here.
Yeah, why? Exactly. The why.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're right. Saying yes to things. I mean, I have given that piece of advice to people so many times. Mm-hmm. And it even goes to saying yes to going to a happy hour, going to an event, because your life's not going to change sitting at home on your couch.
Oh, but how has that changed in 11 years? Now I'm like, do I need to go into the event after I work the red carpet? Maybe not. It just depends. Pick your battles.
I will say, I think as we've gotten older, and I'm sure you've noticed this, it's a balance. I would tell anybody when you're younger, when you're in your 20s, in those hardworking years where, you don't necessarily have a kids or a family to rely on you yet. That's the time to really say yes. Say yes to everything. Take every opportunity. You never know what you might glean from an experience. And then as you get older and you become more secure in who you are and what you want to do, then you discover the power of saying no.
Yes, absolutely.
And that sometimes you actually will get more respect if you say no to things that aren't perfect for you. But it takes time to figure out what works for you, what you want to be doing, what your right fit is.
And like you said, it depends on where you are in your life too, and what your priorities are. Because that balance that work-life balance is really tough at the beginning, especially at a new job, especially when you're chasing that goal of yours. But eventually it does kind of even out a little bit. It has to. It has to.
Well, it has to. Because you and I both know, I mean, Denny and I have both lost parents, which we've both talked about before with each other. But you and I also both know that that puts the perspective in of what really matters in life.
Yes.
And at the end of the day,
hey,
your job's not gonna be what you look back on.
I literally told someone this very recently that, jobs will come and go, but the people, you have to invest in them because they're supposed to be around forever, so invest in them too. Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Well, Denny Directo, I was thinking about that earlier because I was listening to another podcast where someone was talking about, and I've had people on here, they left their corporate job, they started a career on TikTok. And what I think is interesting is, there's different paths for everybody, right? But that person was our same age. And okay, maybe now they're going to start doing stuff on air. They're going to launch a podcast or whatever, but they took a different path to get there, but you got there in that traditional way and you're here. And so
it might not work for someone else. It worked out for me, but everyone's journey is so unique and different.
But do you feel like our generation now is kind of poo-pooing the vertical path?
But maybe that's not a bad thing. I went the traditional route, but in the entertainment industry, there are traditionally, or I should say historically, large barriers of entry. And now it's a little more, and we need it. We need more diversity. We need more inclusion. We need more creatives. We can't be remaking the same things over and over again, and the reboots do we need another Fuller House? I don't know. You know what I mean? So it's I love that there's other opportunities for other young creatives to get in the game a little bit. And maybe it's not traditional. Maybe it's through TikTok, but I don't know. I kind of champion that.
No, totally. I mean, sometimes I'm envious of it. But I also think there's value, and it stinks now because of COVID. But I was telling my little brother the other day, you just learn so much. You might not, I don't know, you might walk into your office and everybody's older than you. And you might think, who am I going to hang out with here? But open your eyes. You could learn a lot from those people who are older. There's also value in, even if something isn't exactly what you want, you can still glean from that experience.
Oh yeah. You can you can gain something from that experience.
Yes,
yeah, for sure.
I've never asked you that, but I've never asked you this, but what barriers did you face? I mean, you're being Latino. Did gay. You find being gay?
Let them know she's single.
I don't ever want to say it for you. We can't hide Latino. We see the beautiful black hair.
I'm also Filipino, so there's Asian as well. So I'm Asian, I'm Hispanic, I'm gay, but more also, I came from a really small town. I'm a first generation college, 4-year college and university kid, you know, and they always said it's all about networking. It's how you're going to get your job. And I'm like, I don't know nobody, you know? So that for me was a huge barrier too. But it really, by the way, the networking thing, it is important. You never know who you're going to share an elevator with. You always hear that, but it's true. You never, and like you just mentioned it too, like learn from the people who are older than you and you never know who they know. And then that's how it happens, you know? So I feel like those are big barriers though, for sure.
And yeah, you never know who you're going to share an elevator with. You never know who you're going to work with again. It's
and also
small
entertainment
world.
hosts. There's not a lot of male. There's not a lot of men who do what we do. So that's also kind of tough too. Yeah.
So how were you able to envision yourself here? You dreamed of this job. Where did that dream come from? If no one else in your family had done this, if no one else in your family had any point of entry for you?
Let's go to the root. I, for whatever reason, out the womb, I think, have been obsessed with entertainment and pop culture. There are literally videos of me dancing to like Madonna and Paula Abdul. Can you tell I was gay? Like their music videos and just being like glued to the TV. And then and the older I got, the more I was into movies. Like I was just so obsessed with movies, you know, and all that stuff. And then somewhere along the line when I got older, then I started caring about celebrities and the news, like the actors who were in my favorite movies. And as you can tell, I like to talk. So by high school, you know, I was hosting assemblies, doing the morning announcements. And I'm like, what job is there where I could align all of those passions into one thing? You know, I'd come home and watch TRL and I'm like, I want to do that.
You followed your passion.
I did. I really did. I did not have a backup plan. I was like, this is going to work out. Thank God it did. Oh my God.
I mean, I think envisioning yourself doing it, that is so important that you see it. But yeah, I mean, I came from a different place of privilege, but my family is like, no one else is a creative, you know, nobody, like my brother's finishing law school right now. My sister works, she's an executive. Like, so my parents would literally be like, we don't know where you came from. You're weird. And I was like, yeah, I'm the weirdo. So like, I leaned in, I was like, I got to find the other weirdos. Let me go do theater. You know?
We were theater kids. Yes. That part too. Yes. Yeah. Hello, can you tell guys? We were theater kids.
Well, Denny Directo, I just love your story so much. And now let's utilize your over a decade of experience at Entertainment Tonight. And let's just talk a little celebrity news.
Celebrity news has been wild lately. Wild.
Okay. I want to kick things off because we mentioned the Kardashians before. And I do think like 100% it's a headline we would run that, you know, Kylie talks about getting Botox or something.
Oh, okay.
That's small.
Yeah.
Everything they do is a headline. And the latest headline is Kim Kardashian and Pete Sit-down Davidson.
Can you believe? I couldn't believe. What do you believe?
I will say I could believe, and here's why. Pete Davidson's track record. Well, pretty impressive, actually. Ariana Grande, Kaya Gerber, Phoebe, is her last name Diver from Bridgerton?
Denver.
Phoebe Denver.
Kate Beckinsale. Remember that? Kate Beckinsale.
Wait, what?
Right?
I thought she dated another young comedian. Let's Google it.
Oh,
go to the
you know what we're gonna Google? This is what the Google is for. And you know what? It's because I saw a thumbnail that freaking Vulture did. And I swear, Kate Beckinsale was on this. I'm going to look it up right now.
There might have been a rumor of a hookup. That's sounding familiar to me.
Okay, watch, look. Hold on. Here we go. Listen.
But you know, if we stay verified. I'm not
We'll fix this in post. No, look it. Okay. It's the New York Post. SNL stud, how Pete Davidson became the Warren Beatty of his generation. And in this photo is Kate Beckinsale.
Wow.
I mean, okay. I mean, you know.
They call him the Warren Beatty?
The Warren Beatty. Apparently, you know,
that's a tall order of comparison.
Because
you think Warren, Pete Davidson's the Warren Beatty of this generation?
I think that's pushing a little bit. Listen, do I think he's probably a really cool dude with a great personality and knows how to make people laugh? Of course. Do I think he has BDE? Absolutely. I think though, you know what?
He's got something.
And
Ariana's hinted at it. So if not straight up said it, I think.
Well, you know, one of our colleagues, Bryce Sander, I think he was on this podcast. Actually, I listened to that episode. You guys are recapping the reunion. He has been getting these emails of people. I got to pull it up. He's been getting this email. I can't wait. You're going to die. Okay. He's been getting these emails from press, basically trying to send him a replica, I will say, of Pete in the form of a toy. Does that make sense? Okay.
Someone is capitalizing off this moment and making an alleged Pete Davidson
there's a press
sexual
release.
Toy.
Correct. Allegedly. Wow. This is, I see the receipts right here. Okay. So anyways, I know. Now I'm kind of curious, but no. Can I tell you though?
Tell me.
With Pete and Kim, first of all, she did SNL. They had that sketch together where they're Aladdin and Jasmine and they kissed and everyone was like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. A week later, they were seen at Knott's Berry Farm holding hands on that ride. When I saw that headline in the photo, I rolled my eyes a little bit. I'm like, you can't tell me that you haven't been on a ride screaming your face off, holding on to a friend, You're
looking for support. You're afraid.
You're having fun. Or like, let's do one for the photo. I didn't think much of it until today. Today, apparently, reportedly, there were red roses delivered to Kim's hotel in New York at the Ritz-Carlton. Apparently, allegedly, before she went on a little dinner date with Pete. The paparazzi captured this photo, Lauren, and this is the only note I have for Kim and Pete. I wanted to quote the caption. Kim left the Ritz-Carlton for a romantic dinner in Staten Island, according to this photo agency. And I thought, has anyone ever said that?
I was going to say no shade, but it wouldn't be my top choice. It's not a romantic dinner en Paris, okay?
Well, I like to make informed decisions and opinions, and I Googled where this place was. It's, a fine establishment. The food looks bomb, but it is not the Ritz-Carlton. It's not the Ritz-Carlton. And so then I started thinking to myself, at the end of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, when Kim was kind of hinting at like when she realized she wanted a divorce from Kanye, she was saying she is 40 now and she's at this place where, she has all the big things and now she wants the small things. And I might be traditional, Lauren, but sending roses, red roses, and also taking someone to your favorite dining establishment is pretty romantic to me.
But remember like when Kanye filled the house with roses, like he would do those things. But I got to be honest. I'm not saying Kim isn't, I'm not saying Kim's not having a good time. Go have a good time. If Pete Davidson is anything, he's a hot comedian. What else, what is there to be had but a good time? It's a guarantee. But
hear some laughs.
I don't see this lasting, whatever it is. And I think it is a Kim K rebound moment, which like, girl, get your rebound. It is. This would be her first person we knowingly have seen her with since Kanye, right?
Yes.
And I think, I could see that after you've been married and you've had kids and all that, like you're looking for non-commitment, right? Like you're looking for a good time, and a good time is always better with a good guy. And I think Pete Davidson, like no one ever says he's an a-hole, right? Everybody's like there were reports that he was very considerate of Kim on the SNL set, that he took time to work on her jokes with her and make sure her lines were landing. Right. There was also some alleged report that he uses SNL as and I quote dating service, but whatever, like meet people at work. I'm a fan of meeting people at work.
No judgment.
But to me, like we dub things chic or shit. I say chic as shit here because it's kind of a dumpster fire, but in an incredible way. And I think if Kim just has fun at the end of the day and has some guy who's, young and hot, sending her roses and taking her to rooftop dinners, do that, Kim.
Listen, I'm in my rebound phase. And so my advice to Kim, though, is to be vocal. We're tying it back. You need to make sure he is aware of that. Because let's be honest, I feel like Pete, in fact, you know what? When I actually tweeted today, I was like, am I going to date Pete Davidson next? And someone responded, he's like a Kleenex, use once and then move on. And I was like, damn. Well, first of all, I do feel like some of these women kind of treat him that way. So protect
he might be in the position now where people are like wondering what's going on, wondering what all the fuss is about. And so they're interested.
What a reputation to have.
Look, again, his roster, wow. The team he built, Kaya Gerber, supermodel, Ariana Grande, superstar. I mean, now we're on Kim. Yes. Like, and It is really, I love how small worldy Hollywood is sometimes. Like that Pete had gone on that SNL Weekend Update rant about Kanye, telling Kanye to take his meds.
Yeah.
Pete says, I take meds. It's all good. Like, I think though that there's something we also have to acknowledge at the end of the day, which is the Kardashians got a Hulu show coming up. Okay. This is story, I'm not saying it's not real. I'm just saying they are the most iconic. They are our royalty. They are the most iconic family of all time when it comes to constantly being in the news and creating story. We got a new Hulu show to do.
We have a new Hulu show to do.
We got to get some plot points.
Got to get some content. Another thing to consider, Kourtney Kardashian's impact. Okay. Pete is friends with Travis Barker. Kourtney, who, by the way, has never been engaged, never been married. All of a sudden, she's found the one in Travis and she's engaged. I think the Kardashians are going punk. I think they're looking at Kourtney being like, you know what? If she can do it, I can do it. I want to be as happy as Kourtney. How is that for sweet revenge for Kourtney, who, let's not forget, Kim once called the least interesting.
The least interesting.
And now everyone is dressing up as Travis for Halloween.
Kourtney, you know what? She's always had that oldest energy, no matter what, where she like had the big picture perspective, and Kourtney's coming around now.
Yeah.
And I think that the going punk thing, like it's happening now. I mean, we're all like punk music is coming back. It's all coming back. So they're just on trend, if not ahead of the trend. You're right.
Oh yeah. I saw you posting about Willow Smith. Hello. She's gone punk.
Yes.
Like, yes. It's
like Avril Lavigne just signed with Travis Barker's label. Like the music is coming back.
This is what's happening.
Skater at the very least.
Pop goes punk.
Here's my last question on Kim and Pete. So like, do you think, because you just said at first, you were like, oh, they're just holding hands. She's scared. Do you think it's real?
I think that they're just having fun. I agree with you with the rebound thing. I do. Yeah. I do. And I'm sorry, there's no way that Pete thinks like, I'm going to one day marry her. Like she was just married to Kanye West.
She's Kim Kardashian.
I hate to say it. I do. Do I think it's like a real friendship forming and maybe they're having some fun together? Yes. Do I think it's going to last? No.
I don't want Kim to get married again anytime soon either. Like we're still unwinding, some people were saying that she's stealing Kourtney's thunder.
You can't let Kourtney have anything.
But again, plot points. We might see them argue about like, oh, I just got engaged and then you start a new relationship. We might see it. And you know what? I'm going to watch it because it's real.
I'm definitely going to watch. I was going to watch it no matter what, but now I'm having a viewing party. I'm getting popcorn. We're dressing up like Travis. Like we're doing the whole thing.
If they do argue about it, look, sisters and friends have had that issue before, right? Like we can relate. Yeah. I was supposed to be getting married and whatever, like all the things.
Yeah. All the things. I don't know. We'll see.
I could talk about them all day. Well, let's move on though to Britney. Okay. You and I have been covering Britney and her conservatorship for some time. We got a hearing coming up on November 12th. The conservatorship could end. Britney this week puts up a post on Instagram saying that it was her mom's idea, alleging to start the conservatorship in the first place. Britney actually said her dad wasn't smart enough to think of such a thing.
Which, what a read.
What a
read. Way to like stick it to your dad right there at the end of that caption. That has now since been deleted, by the way.
Since been deleted. I'll be honest, Britney posts long posts on Instagram and I almost didn't read the entirety of that one. And I'm glad that I did because we really got to it in those last few sentences.
Hey, why did I react the same way? I was like, oh, I'll read it later.
I know. And then the fire came in at the end. For everybody listening, if you don't know, Britney, while she had in court said, I want to sue my whole family and things like that, that did seem to group her mom into it, but she had not ever called her mom out for allegedly, like specifically her frustrations with the conservatorship. So this was the first and it was a worst. She said it was her mom's idea. I was shocked.
And I was shocked because of how scathing it was. And also because it really paints a different picture in this narrative. Up until her emotional testimony, Britney's, I saw Lynn as the supportive mother who was with her everywhere and, probably had her back and as Britt put it in that caption, she had this like, oh, I don't know what's going on attitude. That's what Britney alleges about Lynn. And so now it's like, oh, shoot, she's saying that she was the brain, the brain, like the conservatorship was her brainchild. And so I thought that was pretty shocking.
I want so much. The longer I work in this industry and the more I see, the more I'm like, I want a real investigation. And I want, like, her attorney, Matthew Rosengart, Britney's new attorney, has said he is going to investigate this conservatorship, its origins, like receipts ad nauseum. And I think, yes, please do. Because sometimes I wonder, does Britney even know the full truth? Has she been kept in the dark? Has she been lied to? And I think she deserves answers more than anybody. And most importantly, Britney, we love you.
Yeah.
But man, it's just, it made me sad to see that because I had hoped that maybe the situation was that her dad was, her dad was the one who she felt was awful to her. And maybe her mom had been asleep at the wheel, but had said, okay, let me wake up and help. But now
and by the way, that's what Lynn and her attorneys are claiming, because this all comes at the same time that Lynn is asking Britney's team to pay for attorney fees.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't hear about this yet.
Lynn is asking Britney's team to pay literally more than $650,000 in attorney's fees because, according to court documents that ET obtained, she sought legal counsel in 2019. Which she claims in the docs that Britney enthusiastically was behind, so her mom could be involved in this case in any capacity so that they can find a way to end it together. That's what Lynn's team is claiming, and of course we know that her mother has also been vocal about being on Britney's side after Britney's testimony and telling the court, I hope that you listen to my daughter and I hope you respect her wishes, kind of thing. So they're singing a different tune right now than what Britney is saying in that caption. And I'm like, it's all going to come out. Right?
What more can we charge Britney for? How many more bills can we throw her way? Who else's legal fees can she pay?
And exactly. And by the way, the thing I have felt generally about the situation is that, maybe in 2007, 2008, the conservatorship made sense, maybe based on, everything that was going on in Britney's life, the involuntary 50-50 hold, all the drama with, custody of her kids. Like, maybe at the time it made sense, but then 13 years later, when you have her headlining Vegas, she's raking in all this money. She is the biggest performer in Las Vegas, literally a cash cow. You're plugging her in like a robot, and yet she can't even control her own finances. That's why Britney was like, I can't get those years back. She said, I can't get those years back. And then she also said, this used to be a family business, but it is not anymore. And I thought, you better tell them, get Jamie Lynn next.
Oh,
so she has some things to say. I just wonder, post conservatorship life, what that relationship with Lynn in particular will look like. I think the relationship with her dad is pretty severed, and I don't know how you can come back from that, but do you think her and her mom will ever be the same again?
I think differently after that Instagram post. And then interestingly, it's deleted. And then, some people, when I've spoken to, and this granted was months ago, so I don't know if she's changed her opinion, but when I've interviewed the woman who directed the New York Times documentary, she has said she does not think Britney is running her own social media. But that was months ago. I don't know if that's changed, even her opinion on it. But sometimes I'm like, I don't know. Is she why post it and then delete it? It's just still.
Maybe because this latest filing, with Lynn, trying to get Britney's team to pay for attorney's fees and stuff. Yeah. I mean, all I know is that there is a reckoning happening. New York Times is about to put out their next documentary about the Janet Jackson wardrobe malfunction thing. I'm like, let's save her next, or vindicate her, I should say.
Janet, all reckoning for all the queens, by the way.
That's what I'm saying.
The queens of pop and princesses, etc. I will say, I was thinking this and I don't want to get too much into it, because it's just so sad. But I was thinking about kind of Britney and also the Alec Baldwin situation with the Rust movie set shooting. So much has come out, right? And it has also shocked me how much contradictory information has come out, down to some reports saying that people heard this assistant director say this gun is cold, and some people saying, no, he never said that. And it does just remind me that at the end of the day, even working in this business, working in media, I would tell anybody, always be skeptical of what you read, because things that are true at the time can change by the next day. Things that are true according to one person are not according to another. And I really hope in like a lot of the situations that we're talking about at work right now, that an investigation will bring some truth to light. Yes. Because I don't know.
Because what do we believe? You know?
Right. Well, and look, we have source reporting and things like that, but like, as I think Alec Baldwin once said, consider the source. Sometimes you don't know how legit a source is. So I want Britney to have her day. I actually hope Britney, like she's having her days in court, but I hope Britney is also able to, if this is what she wants to do, have like a moment to the world where she not just has her day in court, but has an opportunity to tell her own story in her words in the way she wants.
Absolutely. With the right people, for sure.
We love you, Britney.
We love you, Britney. We believe you, Britney. I believe you, Britney. Who do you think is going to make it to the altar first? Britney and Sam or you and Chris? We're thinking about her next chapter. All right, because it's her life. She gets to control it and do what she wants. I just wonder how soon they'll get married. I'm wondering how soon you'll get married.
I give it to Britney and Sam.
Yeah. You might be throwing that in there.
Chris and I are, we are very much taking it like we're enjoying the time of, I don't know. It's not even really about like we need this time to be engaged. I think it's just that was a great moment. We love that we like had that moment of confirmation together. And then now I want to like focus on some work things for a while. Sure. I don't know. We also
no rush,
we don't know what kind of wedding we want yet.
Yeah. Because you're not planning that in your head already, are you?
No, yeah. I said this and I meant it. If I'd gotten to the top of this hill on this vineyard where we went and there was someone waiting and he was like, we're going to get married right now. Here's the officiant. I'm like, great, cool.
Cool.
Easy, happy. I love you so much. Great.
We'll throw a party later.
Yeah. And I feel good about it because I'm in this place now where, I don't know. On the one hand, weddings are so amazing. There's such a celebration. There's so much love there. And it's incredible to feel the love of all of the people you love in one place.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I would tell anybody, don't marry somebody unless you would happily do it with no pomp and circumstance at all.
That is such a good point. Absolutely.
If you wouldn't marry that person right now at a courthouse, then don't do it. Because that's really what it's about. It's really supposed to be about marrying that person. And we all certainly do. I don't think anyone's above getting caught up in wedding culture. I've done it myself in the past. You want to have the party in the moment and all that. And that's great, but keep that perspective.
I wonder if Britney wants to have the party in the moment. I know it kind of almost seems impossible because it's Britney friggin' Spears, but if that's, I just wonder if that's something that she wants because she's never had it, even though she's been married before.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I also, when you get to a different place in your life, I mean, I loved and was pained by, but loved hearing what Britney wanted in that one when she spoke in court and she said, like, I want to get married. I want to have babies. It's like you get to a place in your life where you know what you want, like, because you've experienced pain before that has helped you seen what would bring you joy. And I want that for her, I
want that for her so badly. I do. I want that more than another tour,
Yeah, of course. Okay, so you're single now. Where are you dating?
Where
are you finding people?
I guess the apps. I say that hesitantly because it's really just one app that I'm on.
What happened?
But I gotta tell you, I just feel so, my situation, and I was kind of in another situation. I would say that was a relationship, very short-lived. And I think it's just because I was not ready. I feel like I have a lot of self-work to do before I can like jump into another thing, because my first breakup and the pandemic really shook me up. It really shook me up. It also made me confront some things.
You were in a serious relationship.
Serious.
You broke up, and you were in kind of another relationship. So you guys have now split. And you think that was because you've realized you need to do some self-work.
But I also realized like what I'm looking for, and it wasn't that. It wasn't that. And so I realized that's why I got out of it. And now I'm realizing, okay, well, I don't need to rush into anything brand new just yet. I'm in my Kim K phase, having fun. That's what I want right now. Okay. I'm hanging out with all kinds of Pete Davidsons.
Everybody just remember, there's another Pete Davidson in the sea. Okay. There's plenty of them out there swimming around.
But you know what? Can we talk about this story though, real quick? I know I mentioned it to you, but in Los Angeles on when is this going to air? Last night, there was this Gucci fashion show called Love Parade, right? And Gwyneth Paltrow was seen kikiing and taking a photo with Dakota Johnson. And of course, Dakota Johnson is dating her ex Coldplay frontman, Chris Martin. And I texted you, I go, would you die if you saw your exes hanging out together like that? I know it's a different situation for Gwyneth, but I thought to myself, what would I do in that situation? And what happened? It actually happened this past weekend. We were all at the same big gay Halloween party. I was hanging out because me and the last guy, most recent guy, we're buddies now. And of course, the one moment throughout the whole night, it's just the two of us, we weren't alone together the entire night until this moment. That's the moment when I saw my other ex. And he walks.
It's a small world after all.
I'm like, I want to evaporate. No, but actually ended up not being that bad. We're all mature. In fact, they hugged. So that's why I thought about Gwyneth and Dakota. I was like, okay, like maybe it is possible. I just know that if they were hanging out without me, I would flip.
Wow.
Absolutely not.
Powerful.
I wouldn't be okay with it.
I will say, I think a different situation when you are a co-parent with someone, as Gwyneth and Chris Martin are. On the one hand, I love to see it. I'm a big believer in, you can't always, but whenever you can, build bridges, don't burn them. Like it's good. Like keep your side of the street clean. It's good to stay on good pages with people. Just threw a lot of metaphors in there. Right. You're on a great page on your side of the street and it's built and not burning. Okay.
Taking notes.
But I don't think that situation is ever not a little uncomfortable. I have to say, as long as you've been apart from someone, like you can be on great terms with somebody, but at the end of the day, it's like that's still your ex. And if your exes are, like I think if I saw my exes like standing there taking a photo with each other, I'd be like, I need a drink. But like not in a bad way. I'm not upset. I'm just like, you know what? This is so weird. I need a cocktail.
Imagine being there when they're taking the photo. I've seen these two hug in front of me. I'm like, I need a drink.
Denny, why did they hug?
You know why? Because one of them is very mature and just was like, hello, hi. And then
it was like a meeting hug. Okay. I thought it was like, we both lost Denny. Let's cry about it hug. Which doesn't make sense. Like they're leaning on each other.
There's an elite club now,
Yes. All your Pete Davidson
to that list. But anyways, living a single life. Nothing wrong about that. Everyone around me is getting engaged. And I'm so happy for you. And I really am. No, because I love. I'm literally going to a wedding this weekend. Like I'm all about it. I just know for me, I'm good right now, baby. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll stick with the Botox.
I will say you were like, show me the ring earlier. I've been wearing it, but some people have been asking me like post a close up of it. And I haven't. And here's why. Which I'm even like kind of like holding it back now. It's not because like I love the ring, but Chris, when he proposed, he proposes and then he said to me, so this isn't the ring because I picked out the stone. I wanted to pick out the best stone for you. It's like, I love it. It reminded me of you because it's like chic, but timeless at the same time. Chic should only, but he said, I wanted you to have a wow moment, but I also knew that I would never be able to pick out something that was like I want you to have your perfect ring. So now you can go to the jewelry store and design the band yourself.
He pulled a Patrick Dempsey in Sweet Home Alabama and told you just pick?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I know, it's the best.
So are you going to do anything? But you love the ring. Are you going to do?
Well, it's just a stone on literally just a plain band. So I love the stone.
I see. Okay.
But so now I'm going to go to the jewelry store. McClave Jewelers is his friend's jewelry store like here in town. So I'm going to go and like design the band, which was great. And it was really funny because he said, I just didn't want to open up the box and for you to go, oh, wow.
I'm sure you didn't do that though. That ring is so pretty, so gorgeous.
Well, I didn't because he picked a beautiful stone. He has great taste. And we actually often have very similar taste. However, I do think I'm very hard to buy for.
Okay. And he knows that.
And he
He
knows
probably-
that. Like we had an incident on
Oh,
my birthday last year. Or maybe it was Christmas. I can't remember.
I think I remember the story. Go for
The
it.
Harry Potter books.
Wait, what?
Oh, okay. Wow. Maybe there's more stories. Well, I can't remember if it was my birthday or Christmas last year, but he bought me a set of the full set of Harry Potter books. And I was like, you think I don't have these? You think I don't already own the Harry Potter books? And he's like, well, I've never seen them. And like, you would love Harry Potter and I've never seen the books. I'm like, yeah, because they're at my childhood home in Chicago, preserved.
Like I got the hardcovers and the paperback. Like what?
What are you talking about? The audiobooks I've owned on cassette, CD, and now I downloaded them on iTunes. Okay. I got all the versions. Why are you buying me these?
My God.
I was a little offended. And in his mind, he was like, oh my God, Harry Potter. Like I bought you, I think he bought me some kind of like limited edition set that came in a wizard's trunk on the one hand.
The director's cut of the books.
I was a little disappointed.
I remember the other story.
What?
He sent you flowers you did not like.
Oh,
he sent you flowers you were not a big fan of. And you were vocal. You let him know.
I did let him know. I forgot about that, Denny. Look how far we've come.
Did you remember what he did?
He sent me a second bouquet.
Okay. He sent you a second bouquet. That's the story I thought you were going to tell. I didn't know about the Harry Potter book.
There's more. Look, you know what? But that's the thing. And I will say, I don't feel bad about that because it's reciprocal. I think so much about what I'm going to get him, about how to make it perfect. I second guess myself. And it just comes from a place of care. But also like gift giving is kind of my love language.
Yeah, you're good at it.
And so, well, thank you. He's gotten better at it. But
so he's my chalices, my little glasses with the bees.
Oh, with the bees.
Yes,
and he loves Beyonce.
I love Beyonce.
So yeah, he has gotten better. Yeah, he sent me. Oh my gosh! Once he sent me, I'm gonna have now. If he listens to this, he's gonna know. I had surgery a couple years ago, and he sent me a. Did I ever show you what I called a cornucopia?
Yes.
Oh my God! It was the biggest bouquet. It had like moss on it and like leaves.
It looked like it belonged in the Smithsonian. I was like, what?
It looked like it belonged at the center of a Thanksgiving buffet.
Correct.
So that was bad. But then on Valentine's Day, he sent me a bouquet that I think someone I think maybe, when I say someone, it might've been myself, described it as Southern funeral flowers.
I remember those too. But I think those are the flowers I'm talking about.
Yeah, those are. And so then
those are the ones
he pivoted and he freaking sent me a second bouquet that day. And another moment where I fell even more in love with him. If he wanted to, he would.
Listen,
ladies and gents.
Lauren Zima is a boss babe. Okay. I'm taking all of the notes. I mean, yes.
No, look at me. I'm taking notes on you for growth amongst exes. They're giving hugs. Okay. We have to wind down, but real quick. So we did anything else to discuss from the Gucci show? Other than that, by the way, we had the Gucci show. So many celebrities at it.
So many celebrities at it and also in it. Macaulay Culkin in that I can't remember if it was bedazzled, but it was a high fashion Hawaiian shirt is what it was. And then Vanessa and Natalia Bryant were in there. I loved seeing all the celebs kicking, like Lizzo and Miley. And not to mention, I mean, fashion shows are very rare in LA, let alone on Hollywood Boulevard.
Okay, so we give it a chic.
I think it was chic.
Chic.
Wait, what did you think?
I think it was chic. I loved seeing celebrities all together at an event again. We've gotten back into movie premieres, but that'll just be the cast. I've noticed at movie premieres when we do the red carpets now, it used to be there'd be a lot of other attendees. It's very limited now because of COVID. I loved seeing them all together. Like Billie Eilish sitting next to Diane Keaton. Hell yes. What are they talking about?
Chic. And the models were coming out of the Chinese theater onto the boulevard. It's I've never seen anything like that.
Yes. It was incredible.
Chic.
Oh, Denny Directo. You are the best.
Love you.
I love you. Thank you for coming on. We have
my podcast cherry, my first one. Can you believe?
No, you're a natural.
Oh, thank God. I'm sweating here. I'm not even going to show you. No, just trust me. I'm wearing a gray shirt.
Oh, you're sweating. Oh my God.
I came with my notes. I'm such a nerd.
Thank you for giving me the advice on achieving your dreams. Thank you for giving me your takes and bringing us all up to speed on the celebrity news.
And my life.
And your life. And I love you so much. And everybody, please like, subscribe, and follow Chic Shit Only. Tell your friends about it. We hope to be a chic little escape for you every week. And follow Denny at Denny Directo on social.
At D Directo.
Oh, wow.
It's been a minute.
I've been following you for so long.
I know. I'm going to check that you still are. No, I'm kidding. I know you are.
At D Directo on social.
Yeah.
And you can check him out on ET Live and on Entertainment Tonight and many of our videos and on the show. And we love you.
I love you. Thanks for having me, Lauren.
Bye.
Bye.